on an all the world, it's Taskmaster World, and welcome to a video. Now, you're probably thinking, Tom, you said you weren't going to do any other videos like this until after you reviewed Taskmaster New Zealand Series 2, which they are doing a live show for. If you do live in New Zealand, you can book tickets from Ursula Carlson's Facebook page. Or if you're on the Reddit page, if you probably watched it through Reddit, well, I did do a post earlier with it on because I saw it, but it's not officially linked to the show. Now, I don't normally talk about Taskmaster UK, but Alex Horn is the original creator of this franchise show, so he's in all the credits of every version. Now, I was listening to a podcast called the Comedian Podcast, hosted by a comedian talking to comedians. Now, I don't remember the host of it, sadly, but you will find out who the host is in a short minute. Now, he did a live one at Edinburgh Fringe with Josie Long. If you're not from the UK, Josie Long is a British comedian / actor. She was in Skins. I'm not sure what else she was in, but she's a well-renowned panellist. Every so often she's on a panel show. 8 out of 10 Caps does Countdown. And she's a stand-up comedian. Now, she was on the Richard Herring Leicester Square Theatre podcast, so that's another link to Taskmaster there. But before Taskmaster made it to TV, it did several stints on the Edinburgh Fringe. Now, Alex Horn set challenges every month to 100, I'll say that again, 100 comedians, and then brought them all together for the Edinburgh Fringe in the August, and they had their prize tasks, and they had all the tasks and stuff. Don't know whether they filmed them, no one's ever actually concretely explained the ins and outs, and I should have asked him when I interviewed Alex Horn myself. So, in this Comedians podcast, the host of the show and Josie Long were both on the Taskmaster Edinburgh Fringe in 2012. Now, what you're about to see is an audio recording, is the segment of that podcast. I'm using Spotify to listen to it because you'll see a screen record here I did. So you'll see the Spotify interface because I'm going to make a video on the Weird Side, my third YouTube channel about it, but Apple Podcast isn't the fastest way to listen to a podcast. Now, the Edinburgh Fringe version of Taskmaster was where the UK TV Play producers saw Taskmaster and thought, we'll have that on TV, and that's what made Taskmaster go really popular and then develop international versions. But enjoy the snippet, and I'll be right back at the end to tell you my thoughts on the snippet. Enjoy!
Before we start, I would like to point out that on the way here, I remembered when you beat me by half a grape at the Taskmaster in 2012.
Yeah,
I think it was 2012.
100% took you down. You had to see how many grapes you could fit into your mouth.
This is the culmination of a year-long competition.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Did I win the whole? I didn't.
Yes,
win the whole
you won
thing.
the whole thing because a grape fell down the back of my throat as I was nonchalantly.
My prize was Tim Key's Perrier Award.
Yeah.
My prize. But then on the way out, they were like, "Oh, you can't keep it." And
Yeah.
Like,
He sort of said, "Yeah, we had to send in the most valuable thing we owned." That was challenge 1 in September, and everything would become the prize pot. And Tim sent in his Perrier Award.
Yeah.
And then at the time he said, "If you do win, I mean, I haven't got any nice things." And he sort of made a little sort of defence for it. But did you give it back in the end?
Yeah.
That was a nice anecdote there from the 2012 Edinburgh Fringe Taskmaster event. Now, what's interesting about that is you learned that they had to come up with their prize task back in September before they actually did it in August. Now, I don't know whether, because it's 6 months, Alex says it took 6 months to do the Taskmaster event with 100 comedians, but I don't know if they did end up, because Edinburgh Fringe, if you're not from the UK and you're not well known in this circus, I do really want to perform at the Edinburgh Fringe, so you might see me there one day. And what it is that in the month of August, that's the Edinburgh Fringe, from August 1st I think to August the 30th, but I could be wrong on that date, and you just see acts and perform and watch people perform, and you don't have to perform, you can go there as a watcher, it's everywhere. And now 100 comedians, I've never actually seen an Edinburgh Fringe stage, So I don't know how big the stages are, and I don't know how chaotic it was. No one that I know of has ever recorded it. If you've got a film footage or a camera footage of the Edinburgh Fringe version of Taskmaster, please get in touch with me via the comments down below. Now, the Edinburgh Fringe Taskmaster was where it all began, and then it developed into series 1 to 9 on UK TV Play, which is the channel Dave in the UK, then moved to channel 4 back in 2019, moved to channel 4 before it did series 10 and 11. But whilst it was on the UK, that's what when producers head all around the world went, we want to do our own version, and that's why this channel exists, because of the Edinburgh Fringe, because of Alex doing the Edinburgh Fringe. This channel wouldn't have existed if Alex didn't do the Edinburgh Fringe, then go to UK, then make Taskmaster on TV, and then do Norway, Sweden, Belgium, New Zealand, Spain, America. Now, which country is going to have their own version next? I really want to see an Australian version of Taskmaster, just because Adam Hills might not want to do the UK version, but might want to do the Australian version. The ABC could do it, the Australian Broadcasting Company, they could do it, but who knows, because Australia do have their own version of Gogglebox. So, fingers crossed, please campaign to ABC if you live in Australia to get an Australian version off the ground. But, hope you enjoyed this video, and remember, keep tasking! Woo!
Hello everyone, please subscribe to Taskmaster World.